And no, this is not through the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And the reason why this matters is because BlackRock manages $11 trillion of assets on a global scale, mostly traditional financial stuff. But the fact that we're starting to see them actually accumulate their own Bitcoin is a little bit wild, just a little bit wild. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that today because it is a little bit staggering. So let's go ahead and get into it. As anything, I'm WendyO. I talk everything crypto every single day. To get more, make sure you subscribe, set alerts, drop me a comment, and like this video. And in the comments, I want to know how you feel about BlackRock entering the crypto space. So BlackRock's Global Allocation Fund raises Bitcoin exposure by 1,810%. And this is just in the last 12 months, which is kind of wild. So let's be very clear here. BlackRock has the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and it's not essentially them buying Bitcoin. So you'll see a lot of headlines about that. We do the clickbait too, but they're buying Bitcoin for their clients because they have clients and they buy Bitcoin on behalf of their clients because that's how they make money, buying and selling, etc. But what we're talking about here today is their fund. They have a global allocation fund. Also, BlackRock is invested as a shareholder. They're invested as a shareholder of various different companies. I believe Strategy, a few other ones. You can simply Google BlackRock Bitcoin shareholder or something like that, and it'll pop up. So they're invested in different ways, and that's the interesting thing about traditional finance is you can get exposure to different things. Again, to me, it's just a big Ponzi. But I digress. Let's go ahead and talk about this because it's pretty interesting. So BlackRock's Global Allocation Fund increased holdings in IBIT. So it's their Bitcoin spot ETF. So they're basically investing in themselves, which is kind of weird. Shout out to Buckeye DK for becoming an O Army member. I appreciate you. If you guys want to become an O Army member, it's like $4 or $5 a month, and it supports me, supports the channel. Let's get back into it. So BlackRock Global Allocation Fund increased holdings in IBIT by 1,810% since January of 2024. So this is all recent, all recent. And they now hold 821,644 Bitcoin IBIT shares worth $47.4 million. That's up 43,000 shares in Q1 of 2024, and the exposure rose 91% since Q3 24 and 4 times since Q2. As far as ETF inflows and outflows, so U.S. Bitcoin ETF inflows totaled over 1 billion in the past 10 days, and Ethereum had massive outflows, which again, Ethereum is a completely different crypto project when we're talking about Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So there's still interest in Ethereum, but it's just not as interesting as Bitcoin. Because again, we had GameStop. I believe that they're going to raise $1.3 billion to invest in Bitcoin, those types of things. Cam's video says we are dumping. Yes, we are. Bitcoin is dropping. The way that the chart looks, it actually looked like that it was running up and we're going to have a bit of a drop. So again, 76,000 could still be back in play. Arthur Hayes called for $70,000 to $75,000. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did move down in that direction. That's nothing wrong with me. If anything, I would actually prefer the market to drop because that means that I can accumulate more positions. Some things that I do want to accumulate more of. I do want to get more Link. I do want to get more HBAR. I do want to get AVE. I want to focus on things that are being made in America, primarily because we know that this administration just created a partnership with crypto.com, and they're going to start listing like ETFs, made in America, traditional financial products in the digital asset space, which tells me most of the stuff that's listed on the CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap made in the USA, more the legitimate stuff, those are going to have ETFs, in my personal opinion. Like we're going to see XRP, we're going to see Solana. Solana already has the futures. XRP, I'm like 99% confident we are going to get the ETF, HBAR, Link, pretty much anything that has been requested. I think it will get approved because the SEC, and hold on, I'm going to segue all this back so you guys be careful. Hold on. Senator Bernie Moreno says that former SEC Chair Gary Gensler was one of the stupidest people in the government, which we absolutely love that he said that. It's hilarious. But in addition to that, the SEC has pretty much made it clear, like they're dismissing a bunch of crypto cases because they're non-fraud. They officially dismissed their case against crypto.com, I believe, as well. And they're basically not going to be going after crypto companies that aren't part of fraud. And all of that was done under Gary Gensler, because under Gary Gensler, they, instead of actually making laws and regulations and doing doing their job. They just went and they sued good companies that weren't necessarily doing anything bad. So now under this new administration, under Paul Atkins and Mark Ueda and Hester Peirce and all that stuff, they're actually going back and they're looking at these cases and they're like, nope, we don't want to deal with that. So that's why traditional finance is kind of jumping in, and that's why we're seeing BlackRock accumulate their own IBIT shares, which is kind of crazy. And again, I do have a feeling that BlackRock will in fact apply for many, many, many different crypto ETFs once things are essentially sorted. Good morning to Mr. R. The reason why that we are, and good morning to Oaks, the reason why we're streaming a little bit early is Lois still has a really bad allergic reaction. So we are going to be going to an actual doctor's appointment, not just urgent care. But that might contradict with the regular stream time. So I just want to make sure that I get my work done. Again, she's still sleeping, and I'm here for you guys as well. And yeah, so we're just going to do a little bit early, and I do have a video coming out at 2 p.m. PT, and it's going to be about Bitcoin 2025. I talked to the folks organizing Bitcoin 2025, and the link to buy to get 10% off is down below if you guys want to hang out with me and awesome people like Altcoin Daily. But in addition to that, they told me it was going to be one of the biggest Bitcoin events ever. So we'll see. Anyways, let's get back to the news. So basically BlackRock has Bitcoin, but it's under they own their own shares, which is kind of contradictory, right? And make sure you guys smash the like. So they now hold 821,000 IBIT shares worth approximately $47.4 million, which is pretty crazy. And basically their exposure keeps rising and rising and rising, because they know that they're going to be able to make money on it. Is it ethical that they're owning their own Bitcoin shares? I don't know. It's kind of weird, but at the same time, they can do whatever it is that they want to do within the constraints of the law. I'm sure that they, doing their business. But with that being said, if BlackRock is buying Bitcoin, well, ETFs, which they have to custody to back up those Bitcoin. So BlackRock's buying Bitcoin, Strategies buy more Bitcoin, the United States of America is buying more Bitcoin. China is essentially going to unlift the crypto and Bitcoin ban. We see states that are going to have Bitcoin strategic reserves. We're seeing countries that want to have their own Bitcoin strategic reserves. And we're talking about a finite asset. I'm incredibly bullish on Bitcoin long term. Yes, the market looks a little bit bearish right now. Yes, this cycle is a lot different than the other ones. I do believe we're in a super cycle. I know that this is not like an altcoin season that most of you were wanting to see, but at the same time, it's what the market's giving. So you can either adapt to the current market structure or get upset and rage quit, which I don't want you guys to do that. I do think we're going to have a massive altcoin season, primarily with the coins that are made in the US that get ETF approvals. That's just my personal opinion. That's why I'm looking to add more of those. Anyways, other news stuff. NASDAQ seeks approval to list Grayscale spot Avalanche ETF. So we could be getting an Avalanche ETF coming soon, which we probably are going to. Again, I believe it's another made in the USA coin. Also too, 400 plus South Korean officials disclosed 9.8 million in crypto holdings. That's quite a bit. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the show today. There's not a whole lot of exciting stuff, a lot of regulatory things happening. I know the DeFi broker rule from the IRS is probably going to get overturned. It's on President Trump's desk now. And with that being said, once we get more news on that, I will definitely have Scott make a video explaining to you what that means. But other than that, I know the market is not exactly what you guys want it to be right now. I'm personally taking this as an opportunity to take a step back, kind of look at the market structure, see what I want to accumulate more of, how long I want to hold it, when I want to take profit, etc. Also, too, taking profit is not a bad thing. And just because I say it when the market is down doesn't mean I'm telling you guys to sell now. It is a simple reminder to instill that mindset on profit taking and de-risking whenever it is you see fit. Because again, profit taking is very important. Nobody ever went broke taking profit, but people did in fact lose a lot of money if they did hold to zero. And we've seen a lot of that happen with meme coins. Either way, what we're seeing right now with the current trend of market cycle is that a lot of you can make money with meme coins and these risky low cap stuff, but you're going to make better long-term gains with Bitcoin and some of the stuff that's made in the USA. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to get going. Thank you so much for being supportive. I'll be dropping a second video at 2 p.m. PT. If there's any breaking news happening, I'll drop another video, but I'm going to go ahead and get Babe up, and we're going to get ourselves to the doctor to see what's going on with her allergies and see if there's anything else that we can do to help her. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Sending y'all love and light, and have a wonderful weekend with your families. Bye-bye.